Hello, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60, and today's pretty cool because I finally got the 335 up on the hoist, and this is my first chance at actually having a look underneath it and seeing what it's like sort of from a distance and not just on jack stands. And as soon as I sort of got over the initial shock of the condition of everything, it's not too bad, although it did look quite bad at first. If you've been following along, I did have quite a bad rocker cover leak, and there was just, although it wasn't dripping oil anymore, everything was covered in oil. So it was all a bit but a quick clean and she's looking a bit better. I think when I got the turbos off, I'll get up there properly and degrease everything I can, like even just all this sort of stuff, just try and clean it up so it looks a bit tidier. A little bit of rust there, that's the air conditioner running down on the side of the transmission. But aside of that, sure looks pretty good. There is a bit of weeping coming from the rear diff. This is something I need to get sorted ASAP. It needs to be a bit more limited slip and less lazy. But today's episode, we are doing the O2 sensors. Now, I got a bit excited. As soon as I put the car up on the hoist, I had a quick look at access to the O2 sensors, and I was thinking I was going to have to remove the downpipes. But with my special O2 sensor tool, which happens to just be a small adjustable spanner, which opens up to 22mm, I was actually able to get them out without removing the downpipes. And this is the two original ones here. Now, I wanted to sort of work out how I'm going to do this because I'd ordered two universal O2 sensors, it could have been 6 months ago, but never got around to fitting them. I actually got them out of the box today, and they are the different style of O2 sensor. Doing a little bit of research, this appears to be an NTK style, and you can, from ECS Tuning, actually order this style of universal O2 sensor for the N54. I actually ordered a Bosch part number from the supplier, and their picture showed this O2 sensor, so I'm a bit annoyed about that. I'm going to hope that they're going to work. It's still the 4-wire. I found the wiring diagrams from NTK on these, and it all makes sense and it should be fine. But if you never see this video, we know they didn't work. Now, something I did notice, when I actually set this one up, and I wanted to set it up and just make sure it was all going to work with the connectors I'm going to use, and I'm fairly happy with it all. I did notice as soon as I cut the original wire, the wire inside the sheet, the sheathing, the heat protection stuff, is very twisted. Now, I made a big effort to not twist them when I fitted the downpipes last year, so I'm guessing this one's probably going to be the same, and at some point they've been changed and the wires have been heavily twisted. So this could be one of the issues. One of my O2 sensors might have had an intermittent connection, assuming one of those wires are broken. Now with this one, I've actually gone through with a multimeter and checked all the wiring between the plug and where I've joined it here, and it is always got good continuity. So this wiring is good, and of course from this point here to the O2 sensor is new. So let's get straight on with it. I'm going to show you how I've cut this one and then fitted the new sensor in. So we've got the two heat shields up as close as we can to the clip-on connectors. Checked continuity across all 4 wires and everything is connected properly. I'm just going to heat shrink it all together. And then we have our 2 O2 sensors. Just got to get them back in the car now. So I've got my homemade O2 sensor ready to go in. Now I'm going to do the far one first because it's definitely the hardest one to get to and the one that I was expecting to have to get the downpipe off to get to. So I'm going to feed the O2 sensor over the first downpipe and then try and get it into its new home. And if I can get the thread started, I should be able to get my small adjustable spanner in there and get it tightened up. Alright guys, well that ended up being a 2-man job, but hopefully up in there, if I get out of the light, you can see that O2 sensor is actually in and done up. So somehow we've managed to do it without getting the downpipe off. But that was basically, one person had his hand all entwined while the other one twisted. So it's probably very difficult to do on your own. And it might be easy to just take downpipe off. What do you reckon?
And without a hoist as well, because you literally had to, your forearm coming through from that front wheel well.
It was all in a weird shape.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get this nice easy one back on. That one torqued up, which is not too bad to do, and it'll be good to take it for a test drive.
Cool.
Just the other one sliding in. These do come pre-anti-seized, which is good, but to do them up, it's just... I've got a crush washer. That one's done. Sweet. And I can't remember exactly where this, I think this, I'll have to look, I've got pictures, but it did route in a funny way. All right, let's get the other one done up. Okay, so she's down. I'm going to start it up and just see if we throw any fault codes or anything weird. I'll do a, have the JB4 going for gauges. Lights off. JB4 is connected. Let's see if we get any fault codes. Okay, so AFRs are acting normal for idle, fuel pressures are all normal, the car's idling quite nicely. However, I don't think those O2 sensors are doing anything at this point in time. I'm going to reset the O2 adaptations, give it a few minutes to settle and just make sure the car is idling as it should, and then we'll take it for a drive. So, I think it's better, although I'm not sure yet. That was probably a half an hour or 40-minute test drive, and for a lot of it I was just cruising, letting everything relearn. I ended up giving a bit of a spanking towards the end, and I did get some logs. And I've just had a quick look through the logs, and it appears that it has sort of leveled out the high pressure fuel pump a little bit. No, actually I'll put it, because I did a log this morning as well. I'll put that log in on one side of the screen, and then I'll put the latest one on the other side. And the high pressure fuel pump is not jumping around so much. The car just then felt the quickest it's ever felt. Now I don't know if I'm dreaming, because I just spent a couple of hours working on it and I want it to feel faster, but it did feel particularly snappy. The way it seemed to roll the power on was particularly good as well. All I did was change those rear O2 sensors and then reset O2 adaptations. Yeah, the cheap O2 sensors, which I'll put a link to them down below, do seem to be working. I'm also going to put a link to some direct fit replacement ones as well. And I think I'm going to replace mine with some direct fit ones when I do the turbo in a couple of days. I can get them here in a few days, although they are about 8 times the price. But I'd just like to have some new heat shielding under there. And I'm just not a fan of those crimp terminals, although they should be fine. I'm just not a huge fan of them. Look, I'm going to probably take Dave for a ride in it tomorrow and get his opinion, see if he thinks it's any different. And we'll just see if it keeps adapting. The very first log I did, I was getting smaller fluctuations than I was getting this morning after doing these O2 sensors. But after the third or fourth log, it was actually sorting itself out and maintaining good high pressure fuel pressure. If you're wondering why that is, all I can put it down to, from what I've read online, those rear O2 sensors, although they don't control the AFRs directly, the front O2 sensors do rely on the rear O2 sensors to almost calibrate themselves. So if the rear O2s are doing something strange, or if they're not working properly, it does throw out the accuracy of the front ones, and they'll be continually hunting, trying to work out what the AFR is. Anyway, I've probably rambled on a lot. It's late. I'm going to get this video edited. Hopefully it'll be out in the morning. And yeah, this is the week where we get these turbos happening. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll catch you on the next one.